Casey tore all her sugar packets open one at a time. She pointed at my sweetener packets. You know, you do the exact same thing every time you get iced tea. You think maybe we're too stuck in our ways? I considered that for a second. Then we both shook our heads. Nah. My phone rang with the siren tone I reserved especially for my mother. I motioned for Casey to stay quiet and put it on speaker. Hi, Mom! Hi, Mom! Is that all you can say? After you haven't spoken to your mother in over a week, I had to hear at the ladies' auxiliary that you were almost killed and had to have 30 stitches in your head. Casey rolled her eyes. I said, Mom, I wasn't almost killed. And I didn't get 30 stitches in my head. I'm fine. I thought for a moment. And I don't think it's been a full week. I heard it from Liz, who has a grandson on the force. She said you got 30 stitches. I finished smoothing the cream cheese on my bagel. Mom, they weren't stitches. They were staples. And I only got 6. Casey played an imaginary violin, and I kicked her under the table. My mother made some "oh my" sounds, and finally said, Well, I suppose you have an unsightly hole in your hair then. Did they have to shave a hole in your hair? Just a little one, Mom. Really, it's no big deal. The hair is already starting to grow back. A little, I guess. I felt the back of my head to see how much hair had started to grow in. Tiny little prickles sprouted out of my scalp that I assumed were baby hairs. My mother sighed dramatically. You have to ruin everything I try to do for you, don't you? I have an invitation for you to the charity event of the year. Everyone will be there, but you certainly cannot go with a hole in your head. I'll just have to tell them you were almost killed and can't come. She sniffed her annoyance and said goodbye. I shut the cell phone, closed my eyes, and put my head on the table. Why can't I have a normal, roly-poly mother who bakes cookies and walks around in a muumuu and an apron? Are you just the tiniest bit intrigued? Then come along and join me as we weave through the amazing story of CREDOS HOPE, an Alex Wolfe mystery by Alison Naomi Holt, here on the Bored Goddess Book Reviews. Hello, fellow book connoisseurs, and welcome back to my library. I am the Bored Goddess, and do I have a treat in store for everyone who loves a gripping, well-written mystery? Please remember that by liking my videos and subscribing to my channel, you're helping me continue discovering awesome stories by indie authors and continue creating video book reviews for your enjoyment and entertainment. While you're at it, please feel free to toss a comment or two regarding your thoughts on the books I review, as well as book suggestions, things you'd like to see added to the videos, or hey, you can just say hi. Now, for those new to my channel, please let me introduce Mad Max, my chief ratings duck. This awesome little quacker will collect all of the important data, and at the end of my review, he will compile it and form a rating to be shared right here by his feathered team of experts. Right, Max, shall we dive into another incredible book? Epic! Let's do this. This week, I have for you a phenomenal book. One that is, frankly, one of my all-time favorite series. Every single time the next book comes out, I must immediately buy it. No questions asked. Because every book in this series is fantastic. Have you ever just gotten in the mood for something specific, and you just aren't satisfied until you have it? So there I was, on another of my quests, searching through Amazon for my next story fix I was in the mood for a clever mystery. And I really struck gold when I landed on this series. But before we get too far into this gem, I want to point out that this book should be categorized for adult readers. There is a degree of violence and plenty of bloodshed, along with sexual overtones and references. Although all of this is handled beautifully by the author, and very necessary for the story, it is still worth mentioning for more sensitive readers. Alexandria Wolfe, a detective in the Tucson Police Force, specifically the Special Crimes Unit, is, in the words of the author, spunky, irreverent, and smart. A deadly combination for bad guys. We get the chance to meet her for the first time as Alex and her partner Casey are working and trying to catch a madman who is killing and assaulting prostitutes after trying to work with a lady of the night who, despite being shot, refuses to answer any questions about her attacker. Alex is already overwhelmed, but even more gets dumped in her lap after rescuing a dog she names Tessa. Alex takes the pup to her friend Megan's obedience class. Megan pushes Alex to help out another member of the obedience class, a young girl whose father was sent to prison for murder. The girl swears he didn't do it. And the more Alex dives into the case, the more questions ensue regarding the original handling of the case. Add all of that on top of the amusing and interesting mob boss, her own hot and cold, long-suffering superior officer, and of course, Alex's unorthodox methods of investigation. As the clock ticks down to the execution date, there is no question as to what she should do. Alex must set out to find the truth, but within her heart of gold, she knows there could be no other choice. As mentioned earlier, I was on the hunt for a solid murder mystery, and itching for something that could both keep me in suspense and also entertain. From prior reviews and the synopsis of the book, it appeared full of suspense, well-defined characters, and, not the least of which, a solid sense of humor. For me, humor must fare somewhere in midst of any story. After all, life isn't just a single cookie. It's an unending layer cake. To achieve a rich depth of realistic writing, a well-crafted book should contain realistic aspects of life, and humor is a massive part of it. This little treasure of a story seemed to fit all of my criteria, and from the moment I turned that first page, it did not disappoint. The author has an impressive police background. This is clear from the way she is able to interweave procedural details into the story. Up until I found CREDOS HOPE, I hadn't found many books which honestly approached the realities of police work. It was refreshing to discover how well this was handled in the book. The profession is one I truly admire, and I am awed by the individuals who work selflessly, day after day, despite the heartbreaking, grueling, and far too often dangerous nature of the job. Right from the outset, I appreciated the build of suspense, coupled with a sense of dark humor in this action-packed mystery, and I could not put it down. The first thing that comes to mind when I ask myself what I loved about CREDOS HOPE is the wonderful humor throughout this book. Never overdone, it seemed to follow naturally with the story. This book is also filled with realistic, likable, strong women. Their dynamic highs and lows bring moments of anger, frustration, exasperation, and even joy within its well-written pages. Megan, Alex's best friend, is just a hoot and allows us to see a lighter side to the overworked detective. Weekly phone calls with Alex's mother also gives us a chance to see a bit of her past and begin to understand her quirky nature even more. Every side character brought more depth to the story, including her boss Kate, and others provided a tapestry of personalities, such as Maddie and Carlo. Then there's our amazing protagonist. Alex is a determined detective who loves her job. She's smart and with a heart of gold, but she can dish out dry snark like it's going out of business, even if she never says any of it out loud. Her klutzy nature makes her even more amazing in my eyes, and the whole package makes me want to follow her into whatever adventures lie ahead in the series. I found the character of Alex to be freaking brilliant, and simply put, she is one of my all-time favorite characters. The world building itself was done with consummate skill. Now, I have never lived in Tucson, but I could easily imagine each location mentioned, as if being viewed through a lens. The amazing places described make me chomp at the bit to visit in real life. In fact, one of my favorite people lives in Arizona. Sounds like a road trip. Finally, let me throw in my 2 cents. Mysteries and thrillers seem to be one of the more difficult genres to write, having to maneuver the many and varied threads within the author's mind long before fingers are put to keyboard. It strikes me as being tremendously difficult to keep all of the plot points together, to converge in an ending with all of those loose ends nicely knotted. Miss Holt, in my opinion, managed to make the many twists and turns in the story not only easy to read, but was able to follow through, taking every tiny, winding road in this complex story to its completion. There was very little to complain about within this wonderful story. If pressed, however, I would say the story seemed to come together a little too easily at times. And at the conclusion, I feel the author could have gone a bit deeper as to detailing the outcome of the book. All right, Max, it's that time everyone's been waiting for. Are you ready to rate this awesome book? Once again, I entirely concur, dear Max. Due to the incredible storyline, brilliant writing, phenomenal characters, and humor mixed into the mystery, CREDOS HOPE, Book 1 in the Alex Wolfe Mysteries series, is awarded our highest rating possible. 5 ducks. I have linked to the Amazon page for this book below. Please do check out this great series, along with Alison Naomi Holt's other fantastic stories. I highly recommend them. Have you read CREDOS HOPE? Let's discuss it in the comments, or come join me in my Discord, also linked down below. I am there every day and looking very forward to building a community of like-minded indie book admirers. My schedule for 2023 is fast filling up, but there are a few slots available. So, if you have a favorite little-known, self-published novel, please feel free to leave a request for video review for readers on my website, theboardgoddess.weebly.com. The link to the page is listed below. If I choose the book, I'll give you a high five in the review. If you are an author of an indie book who would like me to do a video review of your work, please submit a request on my website. The form page can be found below as well. I am also on Instagram, Goodreads, Facebook, and Twitter. The links are all found down there as well. When I don't have my nose in a book, I am always up for a book chat, or just saying hi. And this is thirsty work. If you'd like to send me a Ko-Fi, the link is listed down below as well. So guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Adios until next Wednesday. May your day be epic, and may awesomeness follow you like a sad puppy needing hugs. See you next time. Bye, all. Script monkeys should be silent. Yes, I added that. Thank you very much. I can do that. I am goddess. Remember?
No, script monkey job.
Oh, well, all right then. It's quite all right. This is why I steal lines from you, monkey.
We like cake.
We really like cake.
We're doing bits.
Why I chose this book.
Okay, that bit.
Yeah, that bit.
Humor, apparently.
Humor. It's important. With its layer cake.
Yes.
And we like cake.
We do like cake.
But the cake is a lie.
All right.
He says the cake is real. Who is telling the truth?
Me. All right.
First impressions.
That's my line.
Well, you weren't saying it.
I was about to. You
Oh,
interjected.
I stole it.
I can say it now.
It's okay, I already stole it. Do we not like question marks?
No, we do not.
Oh, well, you do like periods and not floating oceans. 2 lines, no waiting. Or come join me in my disco.
Yes.
If you can understand what I'm talking about, please do mention in the comments below. Let's discuss it in the comments, or come join me in my disco. I actually did not intend to say that. Enjoy your exclamation pint.